Miami's Lord of War. That's what the media called Efraim Diveroli, a teenager from Miami Beach who went from a strict Orthodox Jewish upbringing to running massive U.S. military weapons contracts. He was born into a religious Orthodox Jewish family in Miami Beach. His grandfather was a wealthy property owner in Los Angeles, and his uncle was a well-known rabbi. At 14, he started working in his uncle's police supply business in Los Angeles, learning weapons, contracts, and how the government supply system actually worked. After a falling out with his uncle, he returned to Miami. At just 15 years old, he convinced his father to let him take over a small shell company called AEY Inc. and turn it into a government contracting business. From there, everything exploded. By his late teens, Diveroli was a millionaire arms dealer, living like he was untouchable. He drove luxury cars like a silver Audi convertible, lived in high-end Miami Beach condos overlooking the ocean, and spent heavily on designer clothes, clubs, nightlife, and drugs. While millions in U.S. military contracts were being negotiated, he was partying constantly and treating business like a 24/7 adrenaline game. Media nicknames followed: Arms Wunderkind, The Hustler, and later the Stoner Arms Dealer for his reckless, chaotic lifestyle during deals. Diveroli was making so much money at this point, he brought in a childhood friend, David Pacuz, a broke massage therapist from Miami, to help expand the operation, a move that would later play into his downfall. Then came the turning point. In 2007, AEY landed a massive $300 million U.S. Army contract to supply ammunition for Afghan forces. To fulfill it, they sourced old Eastern European ammunition through a shady Albanian middleman. The Triangle of Death storyline was heavily dramatized in Hollywood, and while they did not personally operate in that region, parts of the broader supply network and contractors were connected to high-risk environments in Iraq and Afghanistan during the war. The deal eventually collapsed when investigators discovered something critical. Banned Chinese-made ammunition had been repackaged and relabeled to hide its origin. Behind the scenes, things were breaking apart. His partner David Pacuz later claimed that his promised profit share of around 25% was slowly cut down to almost nothing as Diveroli took more control over the company and money. What started as a partnership turned into a power struggle, betrayal, and legal fallout. Even the supply chain was dangerous, dealing with unstable post-Soviet stockpiles and risky international sourcing that stretched far beyond Miami offices. By late 2007, federal investigators closed in. The Defense Criminal Investigative Service raided AEY's offices. In 2008, the scandal went public, exposing how a small Miami startup had been supplying restricted ammunition to the U.S. military while disguising its origin. In 2011, Diveroli was sentenced to 4 years in federal prison for conspiracy to defraud the U.S. government, plus additional time after a firearm violation. From Miami's Lord of War to a federal inmate, the rise and collapse of Efraim Diveroli became one of the most infamous real-life arms-dealing stories ever told.